did you get a chance to watch the Arnold?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I know we haven't caught up. I got to know, like, what are your thoughts?
So I think bodybuilding was an absolute sham in my opinion. I think Nick Walker won. I think I think we're in like the age of everyone is like looking for that pretty physique. Like, whenever Roden won it that time, and everyone was
Yeah,
like, okay, like he has that exactly what we're looking for in bodybuilding. I think we're going back to that shape again, where bodybuilding is based on the most shredded and big guy, like the freakiest freaking dude on stage, right? And
yeah.
Nick Walker really doesn't have that much weaknesses. I mean, yeah, his legs compared to his upper body, whenever you're looking at it from the front, are a little bit smaller, but dude, the dude's legit, man. And for me, I'm a fan of him, so maybe I'm a little biased here. I do love Andrew Dack's physique, but I just think that Hottie and Nick look better, in my opinion. That's my opinion.
I love how when I ask you that question, your mind goes straight to open bodybuilding and not even men's physique. But I like the energy. I like the energy. We'll stay there for a quick minute. I actually agree. I think Nick won the show. When I saw him at prejudging, I thought it was like very clear that he was first and Hottie was second, maybe Andrew second. But the way I saw it was Hottie and then Andrew. I was really confused after finals. When they called Hottie first, bro, I was like, that's wild. Maybe I wasn't expecting it. Maybe I just, my biasness thought that he was going to be higher. But then Andrew won, bro. I couldn't believe
But
it.
Alex, the reason why I said this is because we weren't expecting the outcome of bodybuilding. We were expecting the outcome of classic and men's physique. So that's kind of why I started with open, because there was a little bit more of talking points there. Whenever we get to men's physique, right? Brandon, okay, he was lights out. I mean, I think that was one of the best Brandons we've ever seen. That front will never be beat, ever. I don't think. His back is good enough to win shows, obviously. I don't think he has a bad back anymore. It's there. But I mean, I watched a little bit of what you were talking about Vitor, and I think that a lot of people thought Vitor was so close to being Brandon just because we were seeing an advanced Vitor, like the best Vitor we ever saw, which is blinding our heads because we're like, holy crap, look at Vitor. But if you compare it to Brandon, it wasn't close, like in my opinion.
Yeah. Drew, what do you think before we go? I feel like I've given my opinion on this,
Which division?
right? Let's stay with men's physique for a quick minute. Like,
Yeah, so men's physique, I'll be honest, I had Vitor winning after prejudging.
oh, wow.
The logic needs to be steady throughout. I feel like Vitor was the most complete guy for men's physique, especially when it comes down to the back. Brandon's front is so far ahead. It's kind of like my front is so dominant to where my back lags, but my placing at the Olympia shows that. It's almost like some of the guys that have a really strong front with a weaker back, it's like the discrepancy in placings is just kind of all over the place.
I agree.
So I would say that the logic just needs to be consistent. As far as from what I see, I could see on the breakdown when Tyler was talking about, Brandon in the front shot and the back shot, because Brandon does have the back density in that upper trap. It looked like his posing was a little bit off, but with the improvements that Vitor brought, it was like a whole new Vitor. The only thing I disagreed with was the upper chest on Vitor. I
I
think
agree.
it's like kind of saying the best chest in the show needed more chest that I just didn't agree with. But
Can we take a
Vitor
second?
looked great.
Can we just take a quick second, bro? How many times do we get feedback from judges that our upper chest needs to improve? I don't
It's
think
every
uh,
time.
I don't think there's an upper chest in the world that they the woman they want that it's realistic that people are going to give them. Like I don't care what nobody says, bro. Everybody I hear other than like a Kyron Holden is upper chest, upper chest, upper chest. And I'm sitting here like, you know
It's
what?
nitpicking, bro. Yeah, it's nitpicking. It's like at the highest possible level, you're almost looking for the flaws. Like when you look at E-Man, for example, he looked great. The best front that he's ever brought. But when you look at him next to guys with better fronts, with more improvements, it makes him look like just in compared to those guys, he wasn't quite there yet.
Yeah.
So that's why you got to see them how they're next to each other because his back, you know, has everything there. But when it's next to other guys that are just superior in certain aspects, it just makes it look like it's lagging behind a little bit, especially in that lineup. It did make Emmanuel look not as balanced as some of these other guys because Brandon and Vitor are balanced head to toe, bro. Like they got the calves, they got the quads, they got the small waist, they got the taper, everything is in the right spot. E-Man has a lot of those strengths, but at the same time, his biggest downfall is going to be that lower half in comparison to his upper body. Um, and I would say it was probably the same thing with Dilson to nitpick in that fifth, and then Ben as well. I feel like when you start entering that top three, that's where you kind of saw like an overall complete look. And if you're just looking at men's physique from front to back, just from waist up, I mean, there's small things, man. Like you look at E-Man with his back, it didn't look like there was as deep separation as Vitor or even Brandon for that fact. He has a superior back genetically than Brandon, but I just feel like some of the detail wasn't popping as much because his front was in so much. It looked like he focused so much on bringing that front in that the back didn't really pop as much.
Let me ask you this. Who had the best back in the show?
Vitor.
Vitor, for sure.
Vitor and DU. Vitor and DU. I would put
DU was a little bit tighter from the back. He would have had.
Is that not crazy to say though? Like Vitor was always a guy that would be coming in every show questioning whether or not we knew that his back wasn't going to be where it needed to be, but we just questioned his midsection. His back arguably just beat Emmanuel Hunter, or you can say is better than Emmanuel Hunter's at this point, which we all say that Emmanuel Hunter has one of the best backs in men's physique. So now are we now saying that Vitor has one of the best backs in men's physique?
I would say, yeah.
I think with what his card, it's kind of weird to see a guy that didn't always have the best back to having the best back. It's like the Ryan Terry effect. Ryan Terry was always known for his front, and then he made his back something special. Vitor added that density even more so in the lower. And I saw a comparison earlier on Instagram. It was like his 2025 Olympia, and there were like Gilco photos, and they weren't edited or anything, but they were side by side, and the background was just kind of changed to just like a regular Olympia background. But you could see in that lower lat that just caught up to that inner upper back thickness, because before it kind of just washed out at the bottom, but now you could see the development, and just dude, it's like all the way down to his hips. It's crazy to see that.
Where do you see Vitor? I know it's so hard to answer this question right now, but after all the placements he's placed at the Olympia, 7th, 11th, 14th, where do you see him placing this year? Like, what are your expectations? Is he top 6? Is he top 10? No.
Top 10. It's hard to say because
5 people ahead of him right now in the top 5. You got Brandon, you got Banks, you got Ali, you got the Chinese guy, right? Yep. I mean, you got obviously Ryan. Who else is going to be ahead of him? I mean, there's Edvon. Yep. So, I mean, we just named 6 right there that most likely going to be them.
Yeah. I can say this, man. I can see him in a world in the top 5. The judges love him, bro. And he's already beaten Edvin before. I see that as a possibility. But I don't know. Him and Cut's got something. These last 2 peaks that they've done together were fucking spot.
Hey, Kyron.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple more. I mean, dude. And also, it's who you're also being judged next to. So if you start adding a Banks, a Kyron into that first call out, maybe he doesn't look as impressive compared to some of these bigger guys that hold a little bit more muscle, right? So, yeah, being compared to this lineup right here, yeah, he's on point. But whenever you put 2, 3 other guys in here that are a lot bigger, maybe you get overlooked because of those physiques, So I think that has a big deal with sometimes when we're making our predictions, we're not thinking about at some of these other bigger shows who else is showing up, and the judges have to look at what's in front of them at that moment. And I think that's why a lot of people drop back in placings that we think are going to do good, because they just don't pair up with some of these guys great.
You say that.
Just like the Olympia, right? You don't really get the comparison next to certain guys.
That's true.
Then when you see Dilson next to Edvin, you see a guy like that, expose a top guy, just because at the Olympia, you don't always get that opportunity. There's so many guys,
Yeah. I agree. All right. And then Brandon, did he show what you guys expected when he stepped on stage?
Yeah. It was the best front that I've ever seen him, and his back was improved. I just think that the posing didn't help him. It seemed like his back he was posing his tricep, or his arms were way too high, and it looked like his triceps were flexing a little bit. Like it looked pretty stiff.
Let me look at this real quick. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's almost like he's not bringing his chest up to where it's like you're getting that lower, flexion of those lower lats.
Yeah.
He's like rolled over like this, kind of,
Yeah, it was
Yeah, and
close.
everybody else's arms looked a little bit lower than his. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe that's just the way that he's been posing it to show a little bit more density, because you could see the density in that inner upper. But I think a lot of it is genetic, man, with
Yeah.
backs, the insertion point and things like that. It's like a bicep peak. There's so many things that you could do with your training, but you might not have it like another guy, just like abdominal structure. And your chest insertions, for example, you can't change that. You can improve the muscle itself, but you can't really change the way that it sits on your frame.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. All right, so let me ask you guys this. We know Brandon is out of the Arnold's UK. All right. We have Vitor, E-Man, and Andre going back at it. We know Andre, all he needs to do is bring that conditioning in a little bit more, show that a little bit more of detail. He has the time to do that since this Arnold. E-Man, very similar. I think it's more of a peaking thing, to really try to get that muscle to push back against his back a little bit more. I don't think it was as consistent. I think he
He's shredded. He's
flattened
shredded
out.
for sure.
He was peeled, bro. He was peeled. I
Yeah.
think it's more of a filling up
I
thing.
don't think E-Man is the type of guy, like, he's either going to be dry peeled or he's going to be full. Like, he can't be dry peeled and full.
Really?
So I
Yeah.
feel like he really dialed in so much, because I saw the video that Will was taking at the pros gym of him. You can't get more conditioned than that.
Mhm.
No.
But it's a matter of how much conditioning are you willing to push to sacrifice the fullness. And right here, you could see the fullness. Everything is there. You could see in his back, you could see the lats, you could see the rear delts, you could see every fiber, but it's not popping out like some of these other guys.
Yeah.
That just shows that maybe it was a
Peak, right?
peak problem. Yeah.
And that's what I said, bro, because it's weird. Because I look at him, he's not flat, right? He's not out of shape.
He looked amazing.
He's
He looked
peeled.
amazing.
I'm just sitting
Yeah.
here, I was like, there's just something that's not popping, like the other guys. Like that's the only thing I can think of. Is like I'm
Just
Look
looking
at
at
him
layer
next to Brandon. See where he's next to Brandon here? He has everything that Brandon has. He's got a full chest. He's got really big, dense delts, but his core, as dry as it is in videos and stuff, on stage with that glaze kind of showing everything, he doesn't have water. It's just not really popping through that skin.
Yeah, it might be a genetic thing, but like I said, I do think he was on point here. Like you don't finish third at the Arnold and beat
He's on
sixth.
point.
Yeah, like you don't beat somebody who's seventh in the world, just by happenstance. Like he showed up. It definitely showed improvements. But like the best E-Man, I still think, like you said, Drew, was almost in the middle between that full and dried version of him. I think we've seen the full, now we've
Yeah.
seen dried. I want to see what it looks like if he can nail that in between. But yeah, so does everyone in agreement? Who do you think they're going to win the Arnold UK?
Vitor.
Vitor.
There's no world we think E-Man gives him a
I
run.
think if Andre can bring in his back a little bit tighter, he would be able to push him. But I just don't see that happening.
Yeah.
It could be any of those guys that you just mentioned. Any of these guys in the top three. They're in the top three here. They're going to be the same top three over there.
Agreed.
I just think that Vitor, and knowing how cuts works, it's going back to the drawing board and just, Vitor's season, bro. Like he's been running the gauntlet for a long time. I know E-Man has too, but he also has a new coach. So it could be fine tuning certain things, going back to the drawing board. Now you're adding travel on top of it. I know Ben says that traveling isn't a problem, but it is. I mean, you're going to add that travel to it, man. It's stressful, so the body's going to show it. Even if you mentally don't think that it's going to impact your look, it is going to. So I think that it's going to be Vitor and DU 1 and 2. And I think E-Man's going to come in much improved, and maybe he could push one of those guys out. It could be just like the Open. It could be any of those guys, any which way. And I don't think anybody's going to really complain if the pictures show that the guy that wins is on. Right. So we see it with the Open, man, going back and forth with all these guys. There's not a guy that's actually on a dominant run right now, because it comes down to peak, bro. It's any day. And the only thing with bodybuilding is it's 2 days. So it's like, okay, this guy won on Friday, and then this guy won on Saturday, but then it's like, I don't know how they average it or what, but I'm just glad Men's Physique doesn't have that, man. That would be terrible.
Speaking of that, let's jump back divisions. Let me ask you, you know Nick personally. I know that's your boy.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what is your perspective on the whole thing going on with him and Martin?
I'm cool with Martin too.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
And listen, I deal with a lot of things mentally as well. And for somebody that's mentally stable from the outside looking in to see how Martin acted, just because you wouldn't act that way doesn't mean that somebody else is always going to act the way that you want. That's the problem in this world now. Everybody wants people to act a certain way and we're soft and all this. Do I think what he did was acceptable? Absolutely not. Is this something that I would do on stage? No, but there was times that I wanted to do things that were like that. But the way that Nick handled it showed his character. I think Martin losing all of his sponsorships was a little bit extreme.
Like $100,000 a month, bro.
Yeah, for a business to take you on. Yeah, for a business to take you on, and then suddenly when it impacts them in a negative way, they're just going to drop their athlete. It's like, I don't know about that, man. I know there's a lot of talk about being backstage and somebody shoving somebody. I figured I wasn't even going to bring it up to Nick. You know, he just got a second place. For him, that was a win because he was self-coached, and I'm really happy for him. But you know how it is after shows, bro. Like, he wanted to probably relax, but I know he's a family guy. He want to spend time with his family. There was enough drama going on. So many people are tagging him and stuff. I wasn't going to even ask him about it. And quite frankly, it's a story that's been beaten to absolute fucking death already. And it's annoying to see all these reports on it. But, you know, it's just one of those things in the sport. Like, when Hadi walked off stage, that was one thing. You know, it's you just got to treat it consistently, like how these other guys act. Should it be acceptable? It's not, obviously, but should there be a certain punishment for that? I mean, the brand punished him, you know, outside of it. I watched the interview with Steve, and Steve kind of said, like, you know, you're gonna win and you're gonna lose. It just, you move on to the next thing. You shouldn't act the way that he did, but you know, it's over and done with. And that's the thing with social media now.
What's the shit we used to remember back in the day, like whenever we were younger, Phil and Kai going at it, almost fighting on stage. Like, dude, that makes for the sport. Leave this shit in there. Like, it's allowed to have shit talking. You're allowed to laugh at other people. Like, if we're all fucking robots on stage, how fucking fun is that? Like, no one gives a fuck. Yeah. Like, what's shit? Who cares? Like, you get into a back pose next to the guy, say, hey, bitch, my back's better. Like, who cares? Like, that'll make the sport so much more interesting if we stop nitpicking and canceling people over dumb shit, man.
Yeah, bro.
Well, it kind of reminds me of the pose down when Arnold popped his phone out and then Hadi ran over to Andrew and he's shoving him and stuff. Like, they're obviously not offended, but it only takes that person to feel and say that they're offended because somebody shoved them and then shove them back. So it's the perception of the people watching it. Exactly. Nobody found that to be unacceptable, but when it's backstage, and I don't know what's true or not. If Nick said that it was true, I'm going to believe Nick. You know, if Martin said it wasn't true, you know, it's another story. But I don't really know. You know, it has nothing to do with that. I just hate. I don't know, man. I'm like torn.
I hate cancel culture. I think, I think for every action there's a reaction, right? So I don't want to say that the people who reacted, you know, the way that they did, that it was wrong. But I just don't like the fact that it seemed like everybody was jumping on it because it was the topic, right? Like, that's the part that frustrated me. Like, it just seemed like everybody wanted to hate Martin. I was like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like they wanted to because everyone else was doing it. It was like the cool thing to do. That was the ugly part of everything, right? It's just like, all right, I felt the way that I felt about it, but I don't necessarily need to go on and try to rip them down.
High school bullshit, bro. It's some high school bullshit, you know? Yeah. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it was a good thing. It's like a gift and a curse. You know, it's a terrible thing. And Martin probably felt like shit afterwards. And to be fair, nobody should tell Martin that he has to apologize to Nick specifically. That's something that he has to do. Nick can't want an apology either. It wouldn't fix anything. I don't think Nick really gives a shit either way. But at the end of the day, I mean, you know, it's over and done with. You know, I think Martin's going to move a little bit differently now just because of this. I know his comments are probably still off for good reason. But I mean, there's always going to be those haters, bro. Now they just have a reason to kind of fuel the fire. But like I said, there's certain ways that he could have gone about it. I think it was just an out of character thing. I know a lot of people are saying that this has happened in the past and all that. I don't know anything about that. I was just watching the show just like a fan, not even being personally biased towards anybody. It just, I don't know. I saw it all on social media kind of blown up after the fact. And I was like, oh.
I'll say this much, right? I've had the opportunity. I followed Martin for a while. So these little things have popped up here and there. And, you know, you see the immaturity in him. You know, there's nothing wrong with saying that. I think we all have a little bit of the immaturity in us, but I think that his highlights a little bit more publicly, you know, like on social media, which is unfortunate. But like you said, he's going to move different because of this. You know, it's probably the same thing with Aaron Banks after the whole Joey Swole thing, right? I bet he.
Bro, I've learned men's physique is the biggest drama fueled division, I think. and it's more so the fans that talk shit that piss off the athletes, and the athletes get into it because of what the fans are saying. So it's like that in every division, but I'd say more so in men's physique. So
Yeah.
kind of maybe that's why we don't feel as affected, because it's normal for us in our division.
Yeah. Drew, let me ask you, bro. How's prep going? What are you, 11 or no? 13 weeks out?
7.5.
Seven and a half. All right, hold
Yeah.
up. What show you doing?
Memphis.
Let's fucking go. Where'd this
Yeah.
come
So
from?
the this was actually planned. I started prep about 13 weeks out. Obviously the show that I'm aiming to bring 100% for is Toronto. But why not collect some points along the way and just kind of get some of the kinks out, and get that weight cap a little bit early, and start the gauntlet there. So
Oh,
gives me an idea, puts me on the board. Going to be smart, not doing New York, not doing Pittsburgh. I will be at New York though, just because it's in the backyard. So I just feel like I got to
Where's that show
strategize
at?
these shows.
Where's that show out in New York?
Teaneck, Jersey.
It's in
where they do
Teaneck. It's where
Universe?
Universe was.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Same
Yeah,
venue.
same spot, I believe. Yeah, I don't think they've ever changed it.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, Memphis will be a good show. I wanted to do a different show this year than I normally kind of always stick to the same shows, and Memphis sounded good. It aligned with everything I want to do. I wanted to do Puerto Rico.
Ooh, I know
Because
Dan
I
is
saw
doing
that
it, so.
I know that Steve was a head
Judge.
judge over there, and I wanted to make sure that I get in front of the judges that like my look, especially the judges that I've won in front of, that would kind of signify they like my look. So I kind of wanted to just be smart with where I was going
Drew, I have
with
some
that
advice
one.
for you.
But
I have some advice for you, all right?
what's
When
up?
you go to Memphis, don't talk shit to anyone because you have a history of being shot, and I'm gonna need you to stay in the hotel room, all right?
Oh man.
Sorry, the intrusive thoughts got to me, bro.
That is
You know
crazy.
what? To rebuttal back, honestly, anywhere you go in this cancel culture and you talk
That's
shit,
true.
you're probably gonna be, I mean, they say lightning never strikes in the same place. So I'd like to think that I'm only going to be shot that one time like I was. I don't anticipate I'm being shot again, because that would be pretty fucked up.
Chris, you better never fall in love again. We know your track record. That's all we're gonna say. All right, moving on. Speaking of the weight cap, because you mentioned, I know over the last handful of years you struggled. I think it's 202, 204.
Yeah, 202.
Yeah. Do you think that I see Cuts and Erin playing a little bit different of approach this year? So it look like they're gonna basically sit under the weight cap and maybe grow a little bit through it, if I'm not mistaken, because it looks like right now he's around 225. I think his weight cap's like 224.
Ready early, bro. Like here's what I think. Banks wasn't really nailing the conditioning mark, because I think he was too fixated on the size, because he was still new to this sport when he got to the top and won the Olympia. So I think he kind of backed off, and he even said this himself. The conditioning aspect, I feel like he kind of was always behind in prep. When you would see his 4-week out update,
Yeah.
nobody was really like, holy shit. It would be like, we see Vitor, we see Jeremy Buendia, we see Brian Terry. It's like, holy shit. But Banks, it was never anything really new. It was kind of like he seemed behind compared to all these other guys that were 4 weeks out. So I think that they're just going to get ahead of the conditioning, because everything's there with him.
Yeah, but do you think is there any risk to that? Do you think?
I mean, knowing how Cuts works, he's not going to let him get too small. And Aaron's still eating good right now. He's probably, because he's on Retta, he said his appetite probably isn't there, because that's what Retta does. It slows down the way that your body absorbs food. But if he was going to lose size, Aria would say, hey, listen, man, we gotta change something. But I mean, it doesn't look like he's losing size. And I've never seen Banks flat, even when he is flat. So that's what he has going for him, especially in these photos. Like it's there. It's just a matter of having the conditioning. Because when you have that conditioning, it's going to make everything he already has pop, even if he's not that big on the scale.
Honestly, bro, if he can just stay at this weight, put the prep drugs in, and just allow his body just to marinate, bro. If you can, you will literally grow into the show at that rate.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. That's the Cut special, bro. It's growing into shows. It's what we do. You're going to experience that very soon here.
I was going to say, I'm going to need to. Yo, have you guys heard about the weight cap? How they put that new height rule in play?
No, what is it?
Here, let me try to pull it up. I'm almost positive they're making it official. Here, let me just put this shit.
I thought my height was already locked in.
I think that's what they're doing now.
And you could challenge it, but you only get 2 measurements. And then whatever one you actually, and I actually talked to, when I did Hurricane, I talked to one of the head judges there, and that's what they actually told me. So that's information that I know. I know it's different at the Olympia and the Arnolds, just based on Mike Summerfield's situation. But
which is wild.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that I'm locked in, and I'm not going to risk to try to be taller than 5'10" to potentially be under that and have to weigh 194, because that will not happen, bro.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is there?
Yeah.
Do you risk it to try to get a little bit taller?
No, I'm going in to make 202, and that's it. You know, I'm already killing myself to make it to that. 194 would be impossible, bro. I'm pretty much fasting the whole day to just make that 202. Yeah. And the main reason I do Toronto is because it's a Sunday. Check-ins are on Thursday, so I have more time.
Yeah.
So that's the main reason why I always come into that show really, really on point. It's because the timing that I kind of have it. It's not because it's easy or whatever other people say online. It's because the timing. That's what kind of works for my body, especially being maxed out at the cap.
Yeah. So just a quick overview. I'll read like the important parts. Once 3 height measurements have been entered from 3 separate events, the system locks your height measurement to calculate average of 3 measurements. So that's how they're going to go about it. So my question is, like, I haven't competed in like a year. So I wonder if mine are locked from before, or is it every show moving forward? I think that's where my head's at.
I mean, it's the most recent 3. That's what I would assume.
Yeah,
based on what this says, 3 separate events. So you've done 3 separate events while the height was already in place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. It doesn't say active at the email. It just, because I was told that Hurricane that I was already locked in at 5'10", and that's what's on my pro card. When you buy it for the new year, it says 5'10".
Okay. So mine's really 239. Bro, there's no need for me to ever touch that number. That's crazy, bro. 6'2" and a half, 239. Yeah, that's big.
Yeah, I don't think anybody at 6'2" and a half is going to max out that cap.
No.
That'd be crazy, bro.
No, that's classic. All right. I do want to ask you guys, we're currently 8 weeks out from the Pittsburgh Pro. We're getting a lot of physique updates already. We've already getting some big names announcing that they're doing it. I have to ask you guys, Kyron Holden. I don't know if you guys have seen his physique updates. I know, Chris, you've been talking about him a little bit more lately. Where do you guys see him? Is there a world you can see him beating Ali Bilal, Aaron Banks, Edvin Palmero? Like, where do you see him falling in that mix?
I'm going to say no.
Really? All right. Talk to me.
Can I tell you why?
Yeah.
Taking time off. And I mean, he has actually done 2 shows already to qualify, but he hasn't been next to an elite guy that hasn't actually backed off the gas pedal. So Ali being an elite guy, Banks being an elite guy. Kyron hasn't been next to those guys in a while here. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see where he comes in with that. I think Ali has this show. I'm going to be honest with you.
I agree.
I don't think anybody's touching Ali. That's just my opinion. It's not against any of the other guys, but as Andre would tell me, my eyes don't lie. I'm following what my eyes tell me. You know, it is what it is, man.
What's up, guys? Pardon the interruption. I know a lot of you guys were asking about my coaching services or why I was not taking clients on. For those of you who don't know, I did have a baby recently, so my goal was to focus on my new schedule before I started taking on new clients, and I wanted to make sure that I give them as much value as possible. So now that we have all of our ducks in a row, I'm excited to be opening up my roster spots. You guys are all looking for a coach who prioritizes communication. Somebody who's going to make sure they get their check-ins back to you within 30 to 45 minutes. If you're looking for a coach who's going to create a custom plan for you, and also a plan that's actually enjoyable, right? I'm going to take into account things that you like and also things that you don't like. And then, of course, your training. We're going to take the thinking out of it for you. We focus on a progressive overload style of training, and also we're going to prioritize a plan that is centered around your strengths and also centered around your weaknesses. And then, of course, lastly, but most importantly, when it comes to the PED side, we will have a full game plan and laid out protocol for you, one that prioritizes us getting you closer to your goal, but also not absolutely destroying your health. So if you have any questions, please make sure to comment below. I'll get back to you guys. Maybe just comment coaching or shoot me a DM or just fill out the wait list. And I will reach out to you guys within 24 hours and I'll pick your brain a little bit more, tell you more about our coaching services and hear more about your goals.
I don't know, man. If Kyron brings what he brought at the Aces stage, that's going to be a dangerous look. Do you see him?
Kyron looks crazy, bro. I just feel like nobody has Ali's polish. And that's kind of what we just went over with the Arnold. If you looked at the Arnold, like we look at like other stage shots from other shows with different lighting, it's like, yeah, E-Man looks crazy in this lighting until he's next to a guy that just looks crazier. And then it's exposed when they're side by side. I think Ali has that effect to where when he's by himself, yeah, he looks dope, but he really shines when he's next to these other guys because he shows what he has versus what the other guys lack in his comparison.
The one thing that will maybe turn the tables on that is if that Kyron, well, guys like Kyron, Ed Vaughn, Banks, if they come in so peeled that their front looks dang good next to Ali and then they turn to the back, their backs are way better than Ali. And that's
nobody's front is going to hang with Ali's, bro. Nobody's front.
You say that.
Nobody's front. Who has so far?
Terry.
No, he's not in the
I still
you fucking asked. You asked.
I still have Ali winning the front shot with Ryan Terry. I have Ryan Terry just being more balanced from the front to
Brandon,
the back. But
Brandon this last show would beat him in the front.
When we talk about front, I think Brandon as far as the fullness, chest and shoulders, but the polish that Ali has with the core, the torso, and the way that he angles it, dude, it's just picture perfect.
Bro, you guys glaze Ali so bad. His physique.
Bro, do you know how many times that I have? Do you know how many times that I have doubted Ali and he's went into shows and proved me wrong? This is why it's backed up on all the times that I've been wrong. When I look at him from the Arnold last year when he beat arguably the best Banks that we've seen in years since 2022 at finals, Ali was fucking blazing and Banks was blazing and Ali still beat him and got a perfect score. And that's Banks, bro, with the best back in men's physique, arguably with Ryan Terry, right? So, I mean, the backs do matter, but we just saw the Arnold. Brandon didn't have the best back, but that front shot reigned supreme. Ali, with his polish and everything just kind of being picture perfect, I would say. Now, I will say, Chris, when he walks out, he doesn't have like that taper. You know, he doesn't have like that. It's almost like an eyesore to a degree when you see some of these other guys that are tapered shoulder to shoulder all the way to a waist. But when he hits that pose, it's different. Nobody has that.
Bro, we said this. Erin has pointed this out. You can see holes in his physique, the shoulders, the chest, the short arms, right? The wider waist, the incomplete back.
And Erin did point it out, but Ali still beat Erin.
You can see it, but it doesn't matter when it's on stage.
I think the Chinese guy is better than him too.
You're fucking crazy, bro.
Well, last year's no, here's the difference. I think that he is too, but on a stage, the criteria in place, Ali's winning every time.
I get what you're saying.
Trust me, I don't like if you had all these guys lined up and you said, hey, which guy would you like to win based on who you personally like and who impresses you? It probably wouldn't be Ali. I'll tell you that right now. It would probably be a Kyron if Kyron brought something like Legion, to be honest with you. But I don't think that even a Legion would beat Ali.
Damn.
You make a good point. You make it, yeah, it won't beat.
Do you think?
I think Kyron will be better this time.
You say it again?
We'll see, man. He's full of shit. He's bubbly. Yeah. Everything is in the right place. It's just.
Want to know why? Because he's going against these guys this time. And I know he knew he's going against Banks. But now you're going against Banks, Ed Vaughn, and Ali. You got to bring a crazy package. It's either going to be lights out like we've never seen something before, or it's going to miss the mark and we're going to be like, wow, we can't believe he showed up looking like that. It's not going to be anything.
What are we talking about? Kyron has
about Kyron being like better than Legion because
he hasn't missed it though. He hasn't missed his last two shows. He showed up and fucking dominated.
I think he's going to be even better than that.
I know. I really don't think
everybody has their own lights out, right? So, for example, an Ali lights out. Some people, no matter how hard they train, work genetically, their genetics won't get them to that condition.
Yeah,
it just won't happen. So, Kyron for his lights out still would be a 90% to Ali's 100. It wouldn't be 100% lights out because Ali is what lights out is because you can't get harder than that. You can't get tighter. You can't get more picture perfect in the core of what men's physique is, bro. It's where your eyes go when you look at men's physique.
I think there are genetic limitations that Ali has that are superior that can be identified as the word polish, right? I don't think anybody can out polish Ali Bilal. But I also think that we've seen Ali come in flatter compared to Fuller. So and don't get me wrong, he's consistent. But if we're playing devil's advocate, if Ali leaves the door open, right, he doesn't nail his fullness, whatever it might be, there's no doubt in this world.
Did you just see his recent update?
Yeah, I did.
It looks like he's 8 days out.
Bro, it never makes sense to me. This dude, bro, if you ever just like listen to his stories, like you just listen to him periodically, he'll just randomly explain, yeah, like he's just going zero carb for the next 4 days and then gets fucking peeled, bro. It's like it's so easy for him to get conditioned. It's wild to me. He'll post that like, yes, you can still see the outline of his ad. He looks great, but it's still not like Ali Bilal. And that'll be like 12 weeks out. Bro, fucking 10 weeks out, this motherfucker shredded. And in
Yeah.
fucking China doing whatever the fuck he wants. It makes no fucking sense.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's why I just don't think that he's going to leave that door open. I mean, is it a possibility? Yeah, it's a possibility for any of these guys. But I feel like when you do the president show and the vice president show and you're going there and you want to make a statement, like, I mean, he's clearly ready, you know. I feel like Ali kind of plays it off like maybe he is like fucking around, but I don't think he fucks around because you don't get a physique like that fucking around.
I agree.
I think he plays it out like, hey, I'm eating pancake. Hey, because there's times that I'll eat pancakes too, but I'm also only having it one time, on a refeed. And I had sushi last night, and it's like I could play it off and be like, oh yeah, I'm eating this all day. Nobody's gonna know. Yeah. But if I say that, like they're just gonna be under the impression, like, oh yeah, look what he does, and he looks the way he does.
I will say this, man. I pay very close attention to Ali just for covering content purposes. I swear this motherfucker's prep is a lot easier than others. And that's not me taking anything away from him. I will say this motherfucker enjoys his life.
Mindset thing. It's a mindset
it could
thing.
Be. It could be.
He's always talking highly, like he's never looking down in the dumps like some other people. So he puts on that perfect face for men's physique and for the division that this is easy for him. And that's a good thing.
You said it perfect, Chris. You said it perfect. I don't think it is easy. I think he just makes it look easy because he loves it. And when you love doing something, it is easy.
You know,
I mean, he was training in champs all those weeks, and I saw him, and the dude was laughing the whole time, literally clowning other competitors. He's like, "You think they're gonna do something?" He lifts up his shirt 20 times while I'm there. I'm like, "Bro, like, I get it, dude."
bro is super confident, bro. It's so funny when you're around him. It's hilarious, man. Yeah, it's hilarious. I really want to see Ali and Erin go back at it again, head to head.
Yeah,
that's going to be the question right now. Do you think this is a make or break year for Erin? Oh, this photo was funny as hell.
I think it's a redemption year. I think last year was make or break for Erin because, and I'm going to be honest, and I know Erin's on the podcast. I love him. You know, we're always keeping it real with each other. But one thing that I'm focusing on the podcast this year is to not be biased towards anybody. Yeah. Erin always says, we're bringing something different. We're bringing something different. So we expect something different. We already know he's freaky, but when you say you're bringing something different, we're like, oh, next level conditioning. Okay, Erin with Ali conditioning. We haven't seen it. Even his Boston 2022, he didn't have Ali level conditioning. You know, it was better conditioning that he has brought, but he didn't have Ali conditioning. So now last year, moving back, being out of the top three, because he was never out of the top three, and then having his first ever fourth place ever in the league, I think that it made him realize like, okay, this was a break it year for me. Not only did I move backwards, but it's the worst placing that I ever got. And it was my worst look. And these are things that, I mean, if he disagrees, I mean, he knows the photos. You know, and you know it, Alex, and you know it, Chris. It was not his best look, and it was probably his worst look at last year's Olympia. Most size, but when you're looking at the conditioning aspect of it, which is pretty much everything at the Olympia level, he didn't have that. So I think this year, the reason why he's ahead of schedule, the reason why he's posting all these updates is because he has that confidence back, and I think he has that drive back to prove it to himself that he's not the guy on top of the mountain anymore. He has to work to get to the top of the mountain, and I think that's the redemption season. I don't think he's going to be talking about we're bringing a 2022 look again or all that. I think it's just, you know, clean slate, you know, just coming in fresh with a whole new look that we just haven't seen, but we need to see it and not just be told it every single year.
Scenario though, let's just say Banks comes in, crazy condition, beats Ali, right? What does that mean for the league after that?
It would mean the same thing back in 2022, but we also haven't seen anybody dominant since Terry. We just got to see the consistency because just let's say he does bring in that perfect look. He had the Corey Morris of what was it, Texas in 2022 or whatever. Corey's always looked great, insane, but he never looked that insane. It was like another tier ahead of what he's brought. If Banks brings that once, he's going to be, it's almost a gift and a curse. You bring your best look and then you set the standard, but then it's that much harder to get it again and replicate it.
Yeah.
Right. So it could be a downfall because then he's going to be constantly compared to that. It's not going to be the 2022 Boston anymore. It's going to be the 2026 Pittsburgh Pro Banks. And if he's a percentage off from that, it's just people are going to write him off all over again.
if he does it, it confirms what we all have said, is that he has the highest ceiling in men's physique. It's in his control if he nails it.
Yeah.
If he nails it, I still believe in right now, there's no one in the world that can beat Aaron Banks.
Yeah,
I agree. If he nails it, I mean, it beats Ryan Terry. And I've said that he's superior in every other aspect other than the conditioning that Ryan and Ali have. Ali is very beatable, but he shuts the door on everybody with the polish.
That's what it is.
That's why he becomes unbeatable to a certain degree with some of these guys that just, they could have the back, they could have the chest, they could have the shoulders, but Ali just has that overall flow in the polish that just, your eyes go to him. Sometimes it doesn't come down to having a checklist of like a video game character that has like the speed, that has the strength, that has the, like, sometimes it's just the balance of everything and where your eyes go. And he has that.
Bro, for his age, his genetic superiority via basically how the skin looks on the muscle is far superior than everyone else's age. I'll tell you that right now. The way he muscle Ali, the way his muscle is just glued to that skin like that, looks like a guy that's 38 that's been doing open bodybuilding for a while. I'm being dead serious. It's that tight.
Yeah.
And I
wonder if ethnicity has a role, because who else in open bodybuilding has a core like him?
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
Hadi. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at Hadi, I don't know how old Hadi is, but I mean, even looking back when he first started, obviously he's open, so it's a different training and all of that. But the grain that they have, the sharpness, the definition, the lines, the detail, it's different, you know.
Look at Chinese or Asian guys, right? Chinese, you got Japanese guys, all that.
Perfect
They have
skin.
big legs, usually not that good backs, right? Big arms, big shoulders, bubbly, right? But
long torso.
But conditioning sometimes is hard for them to get. Now you got black guys. They got really long legs, sometimes really long calves, right? Where their calves can't come in. But dude, they can be bubbly up top everywhere. So like Andrew Jack, you look at his legs and it's like, wow, this guy's from Africa, right? So is Samson. But you look at their calves and how their quads are shaped. It's a little different than some of the bigger white guys, like I always go back to Branch back in the day. But if you look at all these different races, man, everyone has their little things that they need to work on or bring up or hide in their physique to make them look a certain way. And Middle Eastern guys, man, honestly, I think that and Brazilians kind of like a melting pot. I think they have some of the best genetics you'll ever see in bodybuilding, like all put together.
Yeah,
I think so, man. There's always the exception to the rule too, right? Or you'll have the guy that's like a Nick Walker that has the genetics, but the waist could throw it off. Kind of like Jay Cutler had the same thing. You know, Ronnie Coleman, the freakiest bodybuilder of all time, but you could still nitpick his core, or you can nitpick what was his calves. There was little things that all of these guys had. But when you're breaking down the race, I do think that the Egyptians, like Big Ramy, the bubbly, full, their muscle bellies, the insertion points, it almost, when you look at them, you can't really pick a flaw until they're next to guys on stage, right?
Yeah. It's wild. And I figured that out coaching too, because I've coached many different races and certain guys you have to coach totally different because, for example, me and Mike Nassifer, I actually put him in our group chat. There's this men's physique guy that's doing a couple California shows, and he's about 10 pounds off his weight cap. And the guy is like 2 weeks out from the show, and he's gaining weight and growing during this. He's like, I don't know how I'm going to get this guy to lose weight. Same thing with my client, Andre. I'm trying to get him down for Classic. Bro, he's gaining every freaking week and gaining muscle. Guess what? They're both black dudes, man. Some don't know what it is, bro, but those guys, you freaking give them some good gear, they're going off, man. So I've realized, and then with white guys, I've had times where I'm prepping them and they'll lose 30 pounds in freaking 4 weeks out of nowhere. And you're like, what is going on? And they can't grow any muscle.
I miss a meal, bro. I'm down 4 pounds the next morning. It's probably the same thing with you. It's the metabolisms, but we don't have problems with the conditioning, Chris, you know, so it could be like it's almost like there's always a trade-off. No matter what you do, there's always a trade-off.
Chris, let me ask you this. Personal. Have you ever like got your PEDs tested?
100%. Yeah. Through Janoschik.
That's okay. So I'm about to send mine out to them. How is the process?
So you send it out to them. It costs like almost $200, just under $200. They obviously test it via per milligram per milliliter. They send you back a report, and that's it. It's pretty simple.
Do they send you back your drugs?
No. You're only supposed to give them like a milliliter of it. You're not supposed to go and give them. You gave them the whole thing.
Give them a full cycle. Send out your Olympia prep.
Bro, I'm about to set up my whole vial of fucking Primo. I'm like, yo, that shit is expensive. Like, what are we doing?
So I've
Put
done
my address.
before.
I'll test your gear.
Yeah.
You report back in 7.5 weeks to the win.
Yeah.
Hey, just some tips for people that are watching this. So you can actually buy, I think it's Dave Palumbo's site, right? It's like steroidtest.com.
RX Muscle. Yeah, they got a roid testing kit. Yeah.
You could test that first, right? So if it comes up negative on there, then you know, okay, I don't need to send it off to Janoschik. But that's a good first start. So if you're doing like a Primo, Anavar, things that are more expensive, test it with that first because it's cheaper. If it says good, then send it off and see if it's good. And then
so sending it off will tell you the potency milligram for milligram based on what it is. Now, Dave Palumbo's will come back a color that'll tell you whether it is what it says it is or not. Like there's been women that have came to me and said that their last coach had them on Anavar, but it actually was Anadrol or D-ball.
Yeah.
And they were wondering why they were so full. And then they say, because it does cause a mind fuck, bro. Like, can you imagine that? And Anavar is one of the most fake things that you could possibly buy in the market. I think it's seasonally made and it's extremely expensive. And if you do find the real stuff, it's like these people are charging crazy amounts for it. But I mean, it's always a risk with any of that stuff. So, I don't have a plug source for testing your gear and things like that, but I would highly recommend doing that. I think all the top guys do.
The Primo was coming back as test prop whenever from my source. So we were able to cancel that one out. And then obviously we were able to find a good source. But if you're taking drugs, man, the number one advice I can give anyone is 1, do your freaking blood work, and 2, get it tested to make sure you're putting in your body what you're putting it in.
Please,
because you're spending all this freaking money, man, and you could be injecting freaking rat poison for all you know. So get that stuff tested, man.
So I got a story real quick with a client that was recent. So he got his blood work. He's an older guy. I think he's, right around 39 or 40, older, right? But anyway, started the sport a little bit later, and he was taking test SIP, and I was doing his protocol. Long story short, he got his testosterone values checked, and he was 170. So I was doing some research online. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I had this all tested, everything, the same gear, everything. It could be a bad batch, but I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense because he still looks good. Libido isn't trash. Like at 170, I mean, you should be feeling other side effects. So I don't know if maybe the doctor just ran it incorrectly. I don't know. But then he told me he was on a DHT derivative for like hair loss or something. And I think that blocker was fucking up his test.
You test, right?
How much was he taking?
So he was just doing 0.5 Monday, Friday test set.
Maybe.
So it wasn't a blast at all. We were planning on, doing some shows, but he travels for work and, we didn't have anything set in stone. So I wanted to continue to do like a steady building phase, not maintenance, still building, but not relying heavily on the supplements.
Yeah.
So, that just kind of came back and I was like, did you miss an injection? Because that's not normal to be on, an enhancement and then actually have things tank. Now it wasn't absolutely tanked, but it just didn't add up. So it made me question things, but I know that it was tested. It could always be a bad batch too. Cause just cause you get it from the same source, sometimes you could have, just one vial that might be off.
Yeah. Bro,
just with the way that they're measured.
I had a guy on 500 MIGs and his came back at 300, like his numbers. I was like, do the math. It doesn't make sense.
Okay.
It can't happen. Right. So
I remember being on 250 Monday, Thursday, and got my blood work, and I was 2,500.
Yeah. Well, that means your shit was probably
so it goes either way, but it also is how your body metabolizes it.
Yeah. If you inject the day before, though, you go, your numbers are going to be fucking. It's going to.
The metabolites are going to be all over the place. Plus, it's also genetic too.
Yeah.
Genetic too, though, bro. I could take the same dosage as Chris, and we could have 2 different testosterone values. They could be off by 1,000. Yeah, he gets like 10,000. Yeah, off of like 500 milligrams a week. Can you imagine, bro?
Right?
That'd be good though, bro. I had to go to Mexico to get my shit. Like, remember I told you? I think I texted Drew one time when I was in Mexico. I was like, "Yo, y'all need anything?" I go there to get my.
Hopefully, Border Patrol doesn't watch this podcast because next time that you go, you're going to be in trouble.
What'd you say?
I was going to say, whenever you go to Turkey, that's when you go get like the genotrope and stuff like that. It's like $30 over there.
Hey, we know a guy from Turkey, Barack.
Oh, that's true. I'm about to send his
ass home.
I'm only gonna do a show that he's at because I gotta talk to him.
That's funny. I might send his ass home, come back to the States. Drew, are you doing anything different this prep? Is there any approach different? Is there any mindset different? I know
Yeah, not having a withdrawal is one. Two would be so last year I was on a mood regulator. I was on antidepressants, so, and all of that stuff. And I was on a mood regulator, and I found out that it was a sodium sparing mood regulator. So the reason why medication, I should say, the reason why I was so heavy at the Olympia, the reason why my weight wasn't coming down, the reason why I wasn't as tight and crisp for Toronto all stems back to the common denominator of me being on this medication, that when you have sodium, your body's actually holding more water because it's not sparing the sodium. So when I was salting all my meals consistently, 1/4 every meal, my body was holding and secreting more of that water, the 2 gallons a day. So I wasn't losing. I'd go to sleep at 2:16 and wake up like 2:05. And then as soon as I drank water, I'd hold it all day. I'd still be peeing, but I was just still holding it. So I had that problem at the Olympia. So right now, being 7.5 weeks out, tomorrow I was 207 even. So I'm down. I'm about 5 pounds from my cap. Yeah. And I also, haven't been training legs. So
that'll do it.
But there's no size that is gone. Like
I was gonna say, I bet your legs are still fucking big, bro. I was gonna say,
yeah. It's fluid, bro.
Yeah.
It's fluid. You gotta look in the mirror, look at your check-ins, your eyes. We do bodybuilding because it's visual. We don't just track a scale. I might be 202 on stage and look 240 in person. It's all the illusion of how you look when you're peeled, and then you kind of peak and fill it all out. So I don't necessarily have hollow joints, but I think I found the root to the problem. And I think it was that medication, and I talk openly about this because if there's anybody else that, bodybuilding, there's a lot of things that are fucked up. And this is why I kind of, I feel for Martin Fitzwater, because mental health is a big fucking thing, man. You shouldn't be criticized for it. He clearly isn't all there when he feels some type of way. He's so passionate about what he does that when it doesn't go his way, people look at it as throwing a tantrum, but I think he acts on impulse. I'm somebody that's very similar like that, so I've spent a lot of my life trying to get answers and figure it out. And the things that have taught me the most were situations that really hurt me, but I actually grew from those things. But I'm applying it to this prep. There's different things, different avenues, getting the kinks out of the armor and just, enjoying it. Like Andre said last year, enjoy it. I'm too stressed. It's going to be gone before we ever know it. We're not going to be competing. It comes by in a flash, bro. Me and Alex were just at the Olympia, 2024, and look how long ago that was already.
It's crazy you said that, bro. Like,
yeah, perspective, man.
There's like a whole nother world. I remember stepping off stage with you, and you were with me, I think, when I got that feedback from Tyler. I was just sitting there like,
you need to be conditioned, you need back.
Bro, Tyler's so funny when he's giving fucking feedback, especially when he's busy. Just fires it right out the gun.
Yeah.
So I think the next show is what, the UK? Arnold UK?
Yep.
And then from there, I think we got a show like every weekend throughout the summer. I think that's kind of when we start to kick things off. I think we have Charlotte. I know Wasatch is around the corner, stuff like that.
Yeah. Any guys that are popping off in your mind right now, just kind of thinking about the season? Any guys that you think haven't been to the Olympia that could really make statements? Any guys that you're seeing? Yeah, any guys that you kind of see on Instagram that may be rookies or newer pros?
Tariq. He got 3rd at Janet's show, got 4th, I think, in another. Alex, can you bring him up? It's Rick Flex, RIK.
Yeah. I talked to Rick Flex. He actually messaged me the other day because we were watching Love Is Blind. I was watching the reunion, and he messaged me about it. I'm like, okay, I see what it is. I'm like, I don't give no fucks.
Watch it. Yeah, his girl watches it definitely. But I have him, and then Brandon Cato will be another one that I think
we covered him last year a few times. I remember.
Yeah. Find Rick
off my head. Those are 2.
What's his Instagram? It's like Ricky Flex.
Rick Flex, RIK. So Rick Flex, FLE. Should be something like that.
Man,
he's a big guy, big guy. So
I remember him.
Amateurs, and then he went into men's physique, and he looks very good. If he can get a little bit more detailed on a little bit better conditioning, his shape and every structure is exactly what we're looking for. So
Man, damn. Yeah, his name's not popping up here, bro. You got to have it use
Really?
your Instagram to look up.
Were you talking shit? Did he block you? No, I'm just
I'm
like,
a,
no,
No,
we covered it. We covered him a few times on here. I remember because what was the show that he did? Ben and Jeremy, wasn't he third or no?
Yep.
oh,
Or
He
you're
was
fourth?
right. You're right.
he was third or
Jamal
fourth, yeah.
Everett was third. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So I remember him because everybody else was
Four,
focused
five.
on the 1 and 2 guy, and I wanted to put on some of these other guys. And I
Hey,
think at shows like that, you overlook some of those guys.
I send them to you, Alex, in your DMs. Go to your DMs right now.
I'm on the Men's Physique radio page login here.
Oh, okay.
It's all right, though. We'll pull him up as he gets closer to the show. I know exactly what you're talking about. I think it could have tons of potential. And I know
Cato's huge. Cato's getting huge.
Yo, he came on the scene last year, right? What show did he do? Sarasota?
Sarasota, yeah, and he plays
Yeah,
third.
he plays top 4 if I'm not mistaken. I remember him. He looks good. I saw him this weekend at the Carolina seminar. Yeah, that was a dope seminar. Emmanuel's looking good. I saw some behind the scenes shit there. He's looking good, man. I'm excited to see what he pops up.
How did Justin look? You see Justin pose?
Justin?
That arena
I
classic?
did see Justin, bro. Justin,
Dude, he's crazy.
bro,
It's crazy, man.
Crazy now.
physique, bro. Pretty physique too. It's just like it's a lot of mass on it now. That's the only difference. Like I don't know how he made that mass work in his weight cap, but I'm excited to see what he does. I can't say what show he's doing. I'm sure
He trains so meticulously. I trained back with him one day. Dude, he's like a modern day Menser.
Yeah.
Dude's crazy. Like he has his journal. He forgot his journal one day. I'm actually looking through it because I was going to give it to him because he flew out the hurricane. And I was kind of looking through his journal. I'm like, dude, he's so tedious, but that's why he looks the way he does. And that's why his progress is consistently moving up. Like his legs, his back has came up and he wasn't genetically blessed with the back, but you could kind of see the muscles that he lagged that are just starting to really show now. And it's kind of crazy to see that transformation.
It's filling in. You know what I love about Justin? Keep in mind, I grew up around Justin. We both grew up in the same area. He was the first pro in my gym. And we've always had a good connection. Like he's always showed me from early on. Like I said, when I was young, bro, and a pro talked to me, I thought it was like the biggest thing in the world. So he's always was a good role model to look up to. But what I respected about Justin was we came from that initial, meeting point to, us being on similar planes in terms of competing, being at the Olympia. There was so many times that like he would reach out to me and ask me questions about certain things that he just wasn't necessarily knowledgeable of. Even one specifically on trying to improve his back, like trying to get feedback from other people. And I'm like, I get so much respect for somebody who is as top of a level as he's at, and he doesn't care if you're a men's physique athlete. He doesn't care if you're younger than him. He doesn't care if you're smaller than him. He's going to ask questions to make sure that if he can get a piece of nugget somewhere and take it and run, he's going to do so. That's why I respect him, bro. That's why he's also made a lot of improvements over these last couple of years.
Oh, yeah. There's no ego talking to him. And, he's the prime example of like an old school guy that isn't necessarily old school. I think he's around my age and I see him in the gym and he loves being there, man. It's like the environment of going to the gym and seeing him train there, even like a few days out from the Olympia when I know he's miserable. He just likes to work out, and if competing wasn't even a thing, he would still do it because he loves it. I'm kind of the same way. I have my good and bad days, but he kind of, I would be in there and he knew how depleted I was. And, I know after Hurricane, when I was pushing for the East Coast Pro, he was really helping me and kind of gave me some life back and some confidence. But yeah, dude, a good guy to surround yourself with. And I learn a lot from him.
In case you guys don't know who we're talking about Justin Badrina. So make sure you guys go check him out. He's a classic physique pro. He's just a great dude. All right.
He's ninth in the world in classic. So last Olympia was ninth.
Yeah. Good for him, man.
Crazy,
That's
bro.
Crazy. All right. Next week, because we don't have any shows to talk about, I think we're going to do some things. Maybe we'll do like a fan question section. Maybe we haven't done a rate your physique, or we haven't done anything like that where people send some physique.
Let's do that. That would be fun.
Chris, have you done it with us yet?
Like right at the beginning, I think.
Right, maybe in the beginning. All right, maybe we'll run back another one of those.
I don't think I did. Maybe I was on Coach's Corner one time years ago. Have I?
Yeah, bro. You've run like every episode of this. You've done it.
I think you called me out one time because I rated somebody really low, and I thought that was the point.
We gotta do it. We gotta do it. Who cares?
I was like,
cancel us.
It's
that
not
from
like
Chris.
watching Star Search where Jelly Roll gives everybody 5 out of 5 stars, like just because he feels bad.
Bro, you really watch TV. You really watch TV, don't you? I really see, bro. He's posted all these shows. Like he's locked into it, bro.
Dude, there's not a movie, there's not a psychological thriller that you can name I haven't seen. I don't even care if it's foreign, bro. It could be foreign. I've seen it.
You're the Nick Walker of Men's Physique. I've never seen somebody watch.
Nick doesn't like it. Nick doesn't like the movie. He watches like Disney and shit. Like he doesn't like the movies I like. I watch Predator, Badlands, and I'm like, bro, 5 out of 5. I'll pay for you to go see the movie, and if you don't like it, I'll,
wait, Predator.
I don't know. Tell you it's a free movie. Yeah, Predator, Badlands.
That movie
is that the newest one? The newest one?
Yeah. Bro, that movie was so fucking good. I sat there in the theater and I clapped when it finished.
It's like intense. It's funny. It's like it's got everything in it, bro.
Okay, dude, it makes you like happy, makes you want to laugh. It's like a comedy, but they're not like stupid jokes, where people try to make something funny that isn't, and then it'll make you like want to cry, and then it'll make you like the scenes are crazy, the CGI is insane. It's not like a traditional Predator movie, but there's like a hierarchy. Like it's pretty dope, bro. You got to watch it.
All right, I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna report back because I've heard mixed reviews about that.
Nick rated it like a 3.6. I'm like, bro, I'm about to unfollow you. Like he likes romance comedies and shit. I'm like, you know what? Like teach us their own, but I'm not watching that.
Have you ever seen the show Paradise by chance?
No, I mainly watch movies.
Guys, in the comments right now, please I'm not even gonna sit here and waste my time. I know
it's my watch list.
Bro, Paradise is like that. Season 2 is out now, bro. I'm telling you, Drew, you're gonna fucking love it. It's a great show.
Sci-fi. What's on Hulu?
Yeah, it's on Hulu. Brother, you're gonna if you don't have Hulu, I will send you my login. You're gonna fucking love it. It is a
I got it. I got everything, bro.
So do I, bro. Every single fucking streaming service you can think of. All right, but in the comments right now, comment below. Just let him know how fucking great of a show Paradise is. All right, fellas, next week we'll pop in. I'm excited. We're just going to run a few different segments next week.
Save your review for Predator for next week. It'll be our opener.
Okay, I like that.
I want to know what you think, and I'll remind you if you don't get around to watching it.
All right.
Have Megan watch it too if you're not too busy with the baby.
All right, I like that. All right, I'm gonna I might watch it tonight.
It's good, bro. It's good.
Right. Cool.
Chris already knows. I'm about to go rent it again.
Wait, real quick before we get out of here. Superman, the newest one. I haven't watched that one either. People said that it was like, is it worth the watch? I don't know if you guys.
It's worth it to watch it, but I wouldn't say it's anything spectacular.
What, the one like last year?
Yeah, the one last year.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen so many movies since then. I forgot what it was even about. To be honest with you, is that the one with Supergirl at the end?
I don't know. I just remember people saying that Superman wasn't like Superman. Like he got beat the fuck up like multiple times throughout.
Oh yeah, he got.
And it wasn't Henry Cavill either.
No. It was.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because Maria's like, I'm not going to watch it. Henry Cavill isn't in it.
All right, then I'm going to stay with I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to watch Predator. All right, fellas. I'll see y'all next week.
All right, guys.
See you guys. Later.